This is RIFF Radio, a presentation of RIFF Magazine Online, your source for music news, interviews, and reviews from the Bay Area and beyond. Find more at riffmagazine.com. I am Mike DeWald. Now, if you're a music fan online, you've likely come across guitarist Sophie Lloyd. The six-string phenom from Reading, England exploded with her shredding covers of hard rock classics. Last year, she got an even bigger break, joining Machine Gun Kelly's band for his world tour. Now she's got a new project in the works, a new album with some exciting collaborations. To find out more, let's welcome Sophie Lloyd from the UK. Thanks for taking the time.
It's right. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Perfect. So it has been a busy year for you. You're involved in so many amazing projects. We have to start with hitting the road, playing shows around the world with Machine Gun Kelly. How does that opportunity start? Does the phone ring? You get asked, do you want to join the band?
Pretty much, yeah. It was I've done a lot of stuff on Instagram and YouTube, so I've sort of worked a lot on kind of building those profiles. And then one day, actually it was funny, a year before, he reached out to me. I messaged him just randomly on Instagram, just being if you ever need a guitarist, hit me up. And obviously he didn't see it. And then a year later, it was on the day we were moving house. I just got a message from him, and I was just being sort of mentioning the message above, being how serendipitous, we're looking for a guitarist for tour, are you in LA? And I was in London, but I was yeah, totally, yep, I'm in LA. But we managed to sort of get a visa sorted, and it was funny because I didn't really audition. We sort of had a FaceTime and we vibed really well. It was really nice. And I sent them some videos of me playing live, and it was nice because I feel they kind of took a chance on me as well, because obviously I haven't done, this was kind of my first kind of big gig, so it was nice that they were sort of open to having me on and sort of doing something a bit different. So yeah, it was cool.
Now, was there a moment, I guess either on stage or off, was there a moment where it hit you, okay, this is real, this is what I'm doing?
I think it was the very first sort of gig when we were in, I think it was Dallas or Houston, it was somewhere in Texas, because I've always sort of had, and I've sort of said it quite a lot, that I have performance anxiety and imposter syndrome and everything. So that's always kind of been something I've struggled with. So I was always quite worried, and I feel I was very in my head about it for a while. But then as soon as I sort of got on stage that first night, I was I had that moment where I was fuck, this is what I'm meant to be doing. This is kind of where I'm meant to be. And it was a really sort of, I don't know, awesome moment where I was sort of looking out and I was this is insane. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah.
Now being on the road like that, playing some of the biggest stages, biggest festival stages, what have you found to be the most rewarding part, and maybe what's been the most challenging part that you didn't expect?
I'd say it's definitely been a mixed bag of a bunch of different things. I think the most rewarding part is just sort of working with the other guitarist, Justin Lyons, who's been sort of doing this forever. I think we've both been really learning off each other because our playing is so different. He's sort of from a gospel R&B kind of background, and I'm obviously very rock metal, so it's been so much fun sitting down with him and me teaching him how to tap and sweep, and he's teaching me all of these amazing chords and stuff. So that's been really, really fun. And also just meeting fans and actually kind of having that experience off the internet, actually seeing it with your eyes and meeting these people is just such a beautiful experience to see the effects that your stuff is having on people. I think that's amazing. But yeah, there's definitely been some challenges as well. I'd say, this was the first time for me being away from home for a long time, especially with people that I didn't know, sort of flying over there on my own and being away for 2.5 months from the people I love and stuff. It's very far. It's a country I hadn't really been to before. So it was definitely challenging. I definitely had some rough moments. I vlogged a lot of it as well. So, and I sort of shared that side of it where people could kind of see all sides to touring. And it can definitely be difficult, but there's so many good times as well. It's very up and down. It's not all as glamorous as it seems as well. One day you'll be doing something amazing, and the next day someone will have shat on the bus, and all the fucking shitty water rises up and floods the bus. It's not that glamorous.
So I caught the tour stop here in Oakland in the Bay Area, and you mentioned working with Justin, but the whole band, it's such an incredible group of musicians, and I'm sure you being able to play off each other in that live setting, it has to be pretty cool when everyone sort of locks in on that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like they're so great to work with. Everyone is so talented. Like it's ridiculous how good everyone is, and like in their own specific areas as well. Like it's cool like to have all of us kind of mesh together and like learn from each other. Like Slim is kind of who's like the kind of piano player. Slim, he's like the MD, so he kind of puts it all together. Baze has like the most incredible ear. Like you can play a chord and he'll immediately be able to tell you like F sharp flat, 9 sharp 5, whatever it fucking may be, the craziest chord in the world. That's not even a chord, but it's crazy. And Rook is just the most phenomenal drummer ever, and Kels is an incredible writer. He has such a vision for everything, and yeah, it's just really amazing, all of these kind of minds coming together, and I'm glad that I've been able to kind of bring Slink and add Slink to that as well. So that's been really kind of special.
Now, you mentioned this, of course, you built your own following through Instagram and Twitch and some of these really great covers. When did you pick up the guitar and realize, hey, this is something I'm really good at, and really, dive into that aspect of it?
I'd say like I got really into rock music kind of growing up. I unlocked a memory the other day, actually, because my dad would always play rock music around the house. And I was doing a cover from Metal Monday from Twisted Sister, I Wanna Rock. I wanna rock. And I realised, I think the first time I heard that song, and I got really into rock music, was from SpongeBob. Because there was an episode where, like, SpongeBob, like, did, like, I'm a goofy goober, rock. And I realised that's when I got really into rock music, and I was like, oh my God, I want to play guitar, which is so embarrassing. But that's what inspired me, a sponge. So then I started playing. I played all kind of through school. I had some sort of the extracurricular like guitar lessons growing up, and all the way through school. Like instead of like going out, or when people would have like their lunch break, I'd always just kind of go to the music room on my own and like practice stuff. And I got really really into it. And then I was going to go to university to study forensic psychology, and I got like a a scholarship for that. And then like a week before I was like, actually I think I want to do music. And then that's when I sort of started taking it really seriously on my YouTube channel and kind of really pushing for that to kind of be my career.
And of course, it's also an exciting time with a new single, "Do or Die" with Nathan James. It was such a great song. Was that your first time? Was that your first time, I guess, collaborating with a vocalist like that on your own material?
Yeah, it was. And like that's the thing. Like I've always been really inspired by Slash's solo album, which especially his first one, the RNFNR, where he like collabs with a bunch of vocalists. And I knew I wanted to do something quite similar to that. And Nathan has such an incredible voice, like this sort of really hard, like sort of almost like 80s hard rock voice. So it was really fun sort of writing a song for his voice. And we've got a whole album coming out, which will have like a bunch of different vocalists, a bunch of different genres and everything all on this album. And it's been so much fun, like writing for like kind of people, like bringing my style into their style and kind of collaborating it all together has been really really fun, because and all that the vocalists are people that I've like used to have posters of on my wall and stuff, so like I feel like I know their singing style really well. So it was really really fun.
I was going to ask how you adapt writing in that setting. Are you bringing one of this is a riff I've been working on, or this is the message I want to send with the song? I guess when you're working with these vocalists, what does that process look like? Or I guess does it vary from vocalist to vocalist?
So with this album, we kind of wrote all of like the kind of backing first, sort of with like vocalists in mind, and then they sort of agreed, and then they wrote all of the vocals on top. So I would like sort of listen to like a lot of the genre, get some ideas for some riffs and stuff, write it down, and then Chris, my partner here, is he's the drummer, so he would sort of then write a beat, and then we'd sit together and kind of get this big idea, and then we'd send it over to the vocalist. They'd sort of lay down a kind of demo vocal on top, and then we'd maybe adapt it a little bit so it fit a bit better, and like sort of write the solo so it kind of fits in with the vocals. And we kind of go back and forth for a bit, because a lot of these people, like, they lived in America and obviously we're in England, so it was all kind of done online. But that's how we did this one. For the next one, I'd like to actually like sit in the studio with a vocalist and write together. I think that would be a really cool experience for like the next album.
Now, is there any vocalist you're able to hint at? Like, I feel like I can guess. I feel like I can guess probably one of them, but any you're able to hint at who you worked with?
Who's the one you're gonna guess?
I mean, I feel like your touring partner may have contributed something.
No. Oh. I don't, not for this one, but for the next one, maybe. For this one, we had one that was cool because we did it all over Twitch and stuff. We sort of, everything was kind of from both of our ends was written all kind of live on Twitch, is Matt Heafy from Trivium. Oh. So that's our next song that's coming out, and that's gonna be really fun. There's like this picture of me when I was recording my very first EP Delusions back in like 2016, 17 or something, and I was wearing like this big Trivium t-shirt that I like ironed on myself, like handmade. So it's cool that now I'm kind of been working with Matt, because he's just like the nicest person to work with. But yeah, we've locked in as well one of my I can't tell you this one, but it's literally my favorite vocalist. It was the number one person I said I wanted on the album as soon as we wrote it, mainly because it's my mum's favorite singer ever. So I'm so excited about that. I wish I could tell you. I can't wait. I'm so bad at keeping secrets. Don't keep me on, because I'll blurt them all out.
Now, to be able to connect with fans on whether it's Instagram or Twitch, it's really it's, I guess, a new frontier for artists to really be able to connect with people and talk with fans. And, you can't be close to them. You're still sort of close to them in a way. So, what's it been like to build a following like that, where, you're able to talk with them so directly?
It's been like quite different, I feel like, to the sort of usual like kind of music career, I guess, because I've kind of always been online. It's kind of like the modern musician. And I've really enjoyed it. Like, it's nice, especially from sort of making the move to Twitch. You get to know these people like so well and proper have laughs with them and stuff. And there's been a few times where we've like met up with them when they've come to gigs, and we've got to say hi. And it's amazing to kind of see the people that you're like having an influence on, and like I don't know, it's just such like a cool, like beautiful thing that like people that you would never even think of, like some dude in Alaska like I mates with, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's so crazy that kind of all comes together. And I think that's one of the great things about social media, is it just brings people together that you would kind of never expect, that all have this common interest and love for music.
Yeah. Now, with the new album on the way, have you thought of, I mean, obviously you're working with a lot of different vocalists in that setting, but have you thought of a way to bring that to the live stage, to be able to play your own material, with I guess with a vocalist? Is that something you've thought about?
Yeah, definitely. So there's definitely a way we want to do it that kind of incorporates sort of everyone. Like, we're thinking kind of, like how, like, this is a big, like, ABBA, when they have like all like the what's it called? Like the holograms, not as big as that makes it sound incredible, but like some sort of like screen where like everyone, or sort of like all of the vocalists can kind of be there when it's like me and Chris playing, and then we'll always have like one kind of guest vocalist come out and maybe sing a few songs. Like, we definitely want to tour this album a lot, and I think we're gonna do it in like a really cool kind of new way. Like, we want to try and like reinvent the kind of touring idea of like, because so many people like do collabs and guest spots now. It's become like such a massive thing. So I think, yeah, we want to try and think of a way definitely to incorporate that into the tour and do something cool.
Now, before we started here, we were talking a little bit about Reading and Leeds Festival in the UK. Now, for maybe US fans who aren't familiar, one of the biggest, longest running festivals in the country. Is there one you can equate to in the US? That just how big this is? Maybe
like Lollapalooza, maybe? I feel like Glastonbury is like the Coachella, and then maybe Reading and Leeds is like the Lollapalooza. I don't know. What do you think?
I had heard Coachella, but I think you're right on I think that's a little closer with Lollapalooza. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. Which we got to play last year, which was wild. I've always wanted to do Lollapalooza, and that was insane to do that with MGK. It was ridiculous.
And now, on top of everything, on top of all these different projects, you're also doing video lessons now for people who are looking to pick up the guitar and learn it themselves. How can people get involved with that?
Yeah, so I've been working with a company where we've been I've been out to like Florida and we've been recording a lot of stuff called, the company's called Trivium. And it's really cool, like they kind of break it down. So it's got tab and it's got me playing at the top. And it's got tab that you can like loop and you can slow down and speed up or whatever you want to do. And I do a bunch where I talk about kind of how I look at the fretboards and my sort of how I kind of piece it all together. And then I do like a bunch of licks. I've got 2 courses with them. I've got another one where I do 20 of like my favorite licks from my songs and also like some popular guitarists as well. So yeah, that's on truefire.com/Sophie Lloyd. I don't know the link, something like that. You can Google it.
It's out there. So in terms of the road ahead, I mean, a big year coming off a big year with, it sounds like a big year ahead. What should fans look out for? Any sense of when the album may come out, and will you still stay on the road with Machine Gun Kelly?
We've got a massive year. We've got a bunch of singles coming out pretty much every kind of, I'd say 6 weeks. We're going to be releasing a new song with the new vocalists, of course, with the full album hopefully going live around September time. We haven't got a set date yet, but that's sort of when we're aiming for. And so that's exciting. And then, yes, I will be joining Machine Gun Kelly. I'm actually going out to Arizona in February to do a couple shows there. And then we've got one in Houston, I think, in Texas, which would be fun, which is like a rodeo, which would be really cool. And then it's like we've got a sort of tour of European festivals around the summer as well. We're sort of doing a big like festival run, which is really exciting. And then we're gonna be hoping to tour our album like in early next year as well. So yeah, massive year ahead. Lots to do and think of.
Thanks for taking a few minutes, and good luck down the road.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to talk to you.
That is Sophie Lloyd. Find more of her work on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all of the places. Catch her on the road with Machine Gun Kelly this year, and keep a lookout for new songs, new collaborations, a new album, and of course, a new tour. Find more content at riffmagazine.com. For Riff Radio, I am Mike DeWald.